Good evening, this is Councillor Richard Barnbrook and this is the London Report. I have to my side here a good friend, Michael Barnbrook, who has a story to tell you. He's a retired police officer. Mick, what's your story?
About 4 years ago there was an article in the Mail on Sunday regarding the alleged misappropriation of about £100,000 worth of parliamentary allowances by a Conservative MP called Michael Trend. At the end of the report there was a paragraph stating that the Parliamentary Commissioner for Standards couldn't act on the newspaper report unless he had a complaint from a third party. On that basis I wrote into the Parliamentary Commissioner and asked him to investigate the allegations in the newspaper. I pointed out that of course I couldn't provide any evidence as I was not privy to the allowances paid to members of Parliament. To his credit, the Commissioner took up the complaint. A couple of years later I made another complaint against a Labour MP, Clive Betts, and as a result of that complaint, in the final report the Committee on Standards and Privileges gave the Parliamentary Commissioner authority in the future to instigate allegations against MPs on his own initiative without having to rely on a complaint from a third party.
Right.
On the 27th of May last year, the Sunday Times ran a story on Derek Conway and the fact that he was allegedly employing his young son Freddie as an assistant whilst the lad was still at Newcastle University in full-time education. A local reporter picked up on this, and when he questioned Mr. Conway, he couldn't get Mr. Conway to answer any questions. The reporter then contacted the Parliamentary Commissioner's office and asked whether any complaint had been lodged, and was told that at that time no complaint had been lodged, and that was reported in the local press. When I read that, I knew that the Parliamentary Commissioner was not going to take any action because he could have acted on his own behalf and had told the reporter he was waiting for a complaint. Again, on that basis, I wrote to the Parliamentary Commissioner, Sir Philip Moore, and I asked him to investigate the allegations being made against Mr. Conway, and we know what's happened since.
Can you actually tell me when you actually submitted your allegation?
3rd of June 2007.
Right. Do you think the Lib Dems maybe jump on the bandwagon here, or do you think it's a split situation?
Well, funnily enough, on the 30th of January, I ran into the Lib Dem parliamentary candidate for Old Bexley and Sidcup on Bexley Station. I had with me two letters, one addressed to Acting Commander Moore of the Economic and Specialist Crime Unit at the New Scotland Yard, asking him to investigate a possible fraud by Mr. Conway and his younger son Freddie, and the other letter was addressed to the Parliamentary Commissioner asking him to investigate the employment of Henry, the older son. I think that the Lib Dem is a Mr. Borrowman. He admitted to me that he didn't know I had these two letters, and he did tell me that he had posted his two letters on Monday evening, but unfortunately he'd only put second-class stamps on. I was aware, therefore, that by going up to Scotland Yard on the Wednesday morning, that my letters would probably have got there before the Lib Dem letters got there.
Well, that's good. So in that case, it's a split situation, but at least the police are acting on this. And again, can you tell me a bit more about your work or your service within the police? You reached the rank of? I
was an inspector. I retired as an inspector at Greenwich Police Station, but I spent some years at New Scotland Yard, worked in Bexley Heath, Sidcup, Greenwich, all over really. I retired in 1994.
Well, that's one respectable person, and I'd like to say this is Barnbrook and Barnbrook versus Parliament. Well, Dad, after 47 years, I've suddenly found you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well done.